Judge Napolitano, we have some big questions over now companies reopening and the liability on the parts of companies as they reopen when it comes to coronavirus. We were talking to Senator Tim Scott yesterday, who suggested that there needs to be some sort of liability shield for companies as we go through this. Here he is making that case. We'll get your response.
For business owners to have greater confidence is one thing, but for consumers to have the same level of confidence is another thing. For business owners to open their businesses, we're going to have to resolve the issue of liability. If someone comes into your business and says they got the coronavirus there, that's a major issue. So one of the things that we should have as our top priority to help build confidence is solving the issue of liability for business owners and providing more resources and testing for consumers.
Judge, you seem to really make a big point about that and trying to protect our businesses from these lawsuits.
All right, so there's two types of liability issues here. One is those who lost money and compensation because businesses were closed. Well, the businesses were closed because the government required them to close. When a business complies with a government regulation and somebody else is harmed by that compliance, the business enjoys the same immunity that the government does. So if you shut your shop because the government made you shut your shop and your employees lost money because of it, the employees are unlikely to sue you, to successfully sue you. The second type of liability, the one Senator Scott is talking about, is what happens if you open up and somebody comes in and they get harmed. Now we have a federalism issue. Yes, a federalism issue. Can the Congress tell state courts that they cannot hear claims of liability when someone goes into a public accommodation and contracts coronavirus? Congress has been very reticent to do that. Conservatives who believe in states' rights have been very reluctant to interfere with the operation of state courts. This has only happened once before in our history, when Congress granted immunity to the manufacturers of guns so they could not be sued when the guns were misused. That immunity applies in state courts, except in Connecticut, which rejected it and hasn't made its way to the Supreme Court yet. I think that this liability shield business is very dangerous. These decisions as to whose fault someone was harmed by should be resolved by juries and not by politicians. But I don't think we've heard the last of this.
Very interesting analysis on all of that. Judge Andrew Napolitano, thank you. Always good to see you.
All the
Meantime,